Welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I have a very, very special guest. I got Shereen Kassam. Is it Kassam? I want to make sure that I pronounce your last name correctly.
Yep, you got it right.
So, Shereen, I'm here. This is my buddy James. He owns Ocean Inlet Surf Shop here in Ponce Inlet. Have you ever surfed before?
No, I have not.
No.
I don't have the best balance.
I don't either. I'm white. I know a lot of white people are surfers, but
I didn't know balance was a stereotype of white people.
Well, we have no rhythm. We can't. We don't dance very well. So yeah, I think balance goes hand in hand with coordination.
Got it. Okay. Well, I don't have it.
No. So Shereen, I want to talk about what you got going on. I've never met you in person. We've talked before. I was a big fan of what you did on Real Radio. It's a very, very tough environment to go into as a female, in my opinion.
Okay.
No, I
don't know. It was my first time on the radio, so I'm looking at you as you have all the
experience. From my experience, it is a very tough environment for a male-oriented radio station for a woman to come in and be funny and be talented and confident and not put up with people's stuff. You had a great mixture of all of that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So right now you're doing a bunch of other stuff. It seems like you're really, really hustling. Now tell me about your CBD business that you're working with right now. If people want to check that out, they can go to mypaincenter.com.
Yep. Yeah. So I started selling CBD. It's been a year now, I think. I just felt like I love CBD. I take it all the time. And I just felt like people needed a safe, reliable, trustworthy place to buy it from. That's convenient. So yeah, I got into that business and it's doing really well between the pandemic and the election and just life in general.
Now, for people, when they hear about CBD, they think, oh, you're getting high off of pot and stuff. Explain to people what CBD is.
Yeah, sure. So it is from the same plant that marijuana is from. So the part that gets you high. But CBD doesn't have the THC properties in it. So it has all the benefits of weed and marijuana, but it just doesn't have the psychoactive ingredient of THC in it. So it'll calm you down. It'll relax you. It'll help you with your pain levels, inflammation, anxiety, sleep. But you won't feel that high. You won't get stoned. You won't feel any sort of psychoactive feeling.
So
True. I believe in it. CBD is amazing.
Yes.
Well, you should carry our products in your store.
Oh, hey.
As long as I don't need a special license, I'll carry them for sure.
Yeah, no, we'll talk after the show. There's ways to get around the licensing.
Yeah, because the $500 license is kind of a little bit. My buddies in Oregon, and they were talking about getting pre-rolled in here, but if you have it in the oil.
All right, we'll talk business. I want to get into the interview. This is interesting. Now, tell people about your background. Where is your heritage from? And because if people want to check out, it's funnybrown.girl.com is your podcast, correct?
Yeah, Funny Brown Girl. Well, the podcast is called Creative Breakthrough. And you can get through it from my website, funnybrown.girl.com. And by the way, I trying to be rude in the beginning when you were saying being a female on the radio is hard. I honestly, I have no idea if it's hard or not because I've never been a man, but I would love to try being a man for a day and finding out.
Well, you do. And listen, you have the love for chicken wings from what I've learned from following your social media. And that's like, do you ever go to the bars like on a Sunday before the pandemic and challenge these big old dudes to some chicken wing eating contest?
No, I do not. Should I start doing that?
I think we could hustle some of these dudes.
I'll challenge you.
Yeah, let's do it. If you set it up, if you're my promoter and you do all because I don't want to get into a bar fight.
Listen, I'm the last person you want for a bar fight. Now tell people. So back to what I was saying is where is your heritage from? Where your family and stuff are from?
My parents are from Africa, from East Africa, from Kenya.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
I just interviewed a great guy that I became friends with from Nigeria, and there's so many interesting stories in Africa. Just talking to normal everyday people, it's just so interesting the trials and tribulations that some people have to go through like that.
Oh yeah, and Nigeria, the people in Nigeria are hustlers, man. If you think I'm a hustler, if my parents were from Nigeria, I'd be like hustler times 100.
Now, what does your family think of your stand-up comedy? Like, what were their thoughts when you went to your mom and dad and was like, "Hey, I want to be a stand-up comedian"?
Oh, they hated it. They didn't speak to me for weeks. They were so angry at me. My mom, for some reason, the way, I'm not sure how I explained it to her, but however I explained it to her, she got the impression that I was stripping. And so that took, and she didn't tell me she thought I was stripping. She just kept that within her until it finally came out that that's why she was really angry at me, is because she thought I was actually doing something I wasn't doing.
I gotta tell you, there's an angle there, a legitimate, funny, comedic stripper. Now, like every time you
Yeah, but I
told
gotta
the
get my body in shape first. Like that's the part I didn't get. It's like, Mom, I don't have a body to be a stripper.
no. There. Listen, I claim that, you know, women that say, "Oh, I don't have the body," there is a market for every woman.
Every woman.
No,
Well,
there is.
so do you think I should do a what's that new channel called? What's it, the where you pay to watch you?
Oh, OnlyFans. Yeah, you would kill it.
Should I do an OnlyFans where I eat chicken wings naked?
Not even full naked. I mean, if you just wanted to, like, you know, just you know, we could go with the era we're living in right now. Mask over, you know, do like a mask bikini, mask top or whatever, and then just eat chicken wings.
Really, I could just get paid on there, you think, just for eating chicken wings?
Shereen, you'd be like, what? Fuck CBD. I ain't selling no CBD anymore. I ain't doing stand up. I'm gonna be partially naked eating chicken wings on OnlyFans, and I'm telling you, you would make $1,000 a week easily.
Really, don't get my hopes up here. I'm really thinking about this because a couple people have suggested this to me, but I haven't even checked out OnlyFans yet.
Do you know there is a chick that's just cleaning up, and she just wears like G-string bikinis and a top, and she sits on balloons and pops balloons, and people are throwing like $400 or $500 a night at her.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to check it out.
You got to realize listen, America has got a lot of sick, twisted, freaky ass people that will pay for it. And you know what? It could be some Russian in Russia or whatever, like watching you eat chicken wings.
Maybe. Yeah. I could have a fan club all over the world, and then I could go on tour.
Oh, yes. That would be great. What if you got a residency like at one of the big casinos or something in Vegas?
And just sit there and eat chicken wings?
Yeah. I mean,
you know how much I'll have to work out to balance all these chicken wings?
Listen, if you got a residency at Vegas, you know, a lot of people like to bag on Carrot Top all the time, but that guy had the best gig in the world. He was, I think, at the Luxor in Las Vegas. He had the penthouse suite, full access to the gym, didn't have to pay for food. It's like, could you imagine, like, you didn't even have to leave the house to go to work. You just get in the elevator, go down, get on stage, pull props out of a trunk, and get paid.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going to write this down on my to-do list to get done tonight. I will set up my OnlyFans account.
And
it's going on. It's
yeah, do. Listen, I will promote the hell out of that for you. Now let's get back to your comedy. So, like, when did you know, like, you wanted to do stand-up?
I never did. You know that? I didn't even know what stand-up comedy was growing up, because I grew up in a very sheltered household. And obviously before Netflix existed. And so I didn't know what stand-up comedy was. And I was living in Boston, Massachusetts. And there was a club I used to go to in Cambridge called the Hong Kong. And before the Hong Kong opens, like before it becomes a nightclub, it's actually a comedy club. And so we went to a comedy show one night, and I totally didn't want to go. I was like, I'll just wait at the bar until the show's over, and then I'll come upstairs when the club opens. But they were like, no, you got to come to the comedy show. So I went to this comedy show. I was in my mid 20s, maybe. And this is the first time I'm seeing stand-up comedy in my life. And I was bored silly. Like, I didn't understand what it was. I was just like, what are they doing? Like, what am I supposed to be laughing? When am I supposed to laugh? And so after the show, I went up to the owner of the club and I asked him for a refund. I wanted my $20 back because I said I didn't find that funny. And he said, it's not that easy to make people laugh. And I said, it can't be that hard. And here, I've never made anybody laugh in my life. I was never a class clown. I never thought about being the class clown. I was like very studious growing up. And I just, in that moment, decided I wanted to go learn what stand-up comedy was. And that's how it started.
Yeah, but is it something you can learn, or is it just something you can do, or you have that initial talent and it takes practice to get better at what you already have?
I learned it. So I think you can learn it. I honestly think you can learn it, but you have to put in the time and effort. Like I spent a lot of time trying to learn comedy, like watching old DVDs and old clips and just understanding joke structure. And I think the hardest thing for people to do with comedy is you just have to be real. You just have to be genuine, like be yourself on stage. And that's where I think when people are filtering themselves, that's when you're like, they're not funny.
I mean, look at George Carlin. George Carlin wasn't that stereotypical set up punchline. A lot of his stuff was just straight up spoken word commentary, and it got people thinking, and he was real.
Right, exactly. You just have to be real. Like I noticed before I started doing stand-up comedy, I censored myself a lot just in day-to-day conversations. And now with stand-up comedy, I don't censor myself, and that's where half my jokes come from. And if I cross the line, the perfect thing is that if I cross the line, offend someone, I'm like, I'm a stand-up comic. Like, sorry.
Now, are you like such a student of the game? So say you had your dirtiest set planned. You're like, hey, they came to you and said, hey, we want it filthy. We want people vomiting in the front row. Not because the jokes are bad. They're just like, holy crap, this is so disgusting. You know, and your parents are there. Would you still do that set, or would you pull back? Because I'm trying to see how much you are committed to the joke.
I think it depends how much is that club paying me at that moment. Because if they're not paying me anything, I would pull back, because my parents would like walk out and not speak to me again.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up with any siblings?
I do. I have a twin sister.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, got a twin
Who's
sister.
older, you or her?
Who's what?
Who's older, you or her? Who came out?
She's older by 1 minute.
Oh man, that was quick, man. You were like right on her heels.
Yeah, I just needed to get out. Can you imagine sharing a space with someone for 9 months?
Man, that would have to be pretty bad. So, now how has things like affected your comedy stuff with the pandemic going on right now? Like, are you taking this time to just be writing, coming up with stuff and getting prepared?
Yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I've been I joined TikTok, so that's kind of been a cool way to be creative. So you should follow me there, Funny Brown Girl. And then I've just been writing just everything about the pandemic, the election, just being at home. Like when you're at home alone with your thoughts for so many days, there's some weird things that start to like formulate in your head. You know what I mean? And so just writing those thoughts down and trying to understand where they're coming from. Like I'm trying to be a shrink to myself to figure out like what's the funny part about my thought process.
Oh yeah, being alone is like I'm kind of trained for it to be able to entertain myself, because I mean, you're talking to somebody that spent like 10 days in a mental institution. So yeah. I mean, when you have nothing but time on your hands, you think of some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, you do. And then you're like, whoa, where are these thoughts coming from? Maybe I do need to see a therapist.
Yeah. Now, who is the biggest person that you have been on the same bill with, like doing stuff, like biggest comedian?
I would say Arsenio Hall.
Oh, no kidding. That's good. How'd you get on that bill?
You know, I honestly don't know. His people contacted me. They just said that they were looking for people.
Arsenio was trying to get some Funny Brown Girl.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy, like one of the nicest like headliners. Like sometimes when you meet your heroes, or not even your heroes, your role models, and they turn out to be total pricks, and you're just like, oh, I can't believe I wanted to meet you. Arsenio was like super nice and super chill. Like I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, there's so many. The one that I was the most disappointed in, I always knew it was crazy, but when Tracy Morgan came into Real Radio, that was a goddamn train wreck. Like it was crazy. He had one of his opening acts. They were just yelling "shucky ducky quack quack" back and forth, and I was like, "What the?" And Russ was so like, just like, he was not like, he was so uncomfortable. Like everybody else on the show was loving it because we love uncomfortable stuff like that. But Russ was like, let's get him out of here as fast as we can. I was like, hell no, let's just give him the whole 4 hours.
So you guys gave him the whole show, the whole 4 hours?
No, he stuck around for 2 segments, but it was, you know, you meet a lot of those comedians. Richard Lewis was another big one that was, you know, those comedians that come in, and I've seen this happen. They like to come in and they like to do their routine. The ones that do the best are the ones that just come in, have a conversation, go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they fit right in, and they don't make it about themselves, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Now, how competitive is the Orlando comedy scene? And I'm not going to call out any of them, but goddamn, some of them are horrible.
You can call us out. That's fine. I would say it's pretty competitive. I think the hard part with being a comedian in Orlando is like none of the big producers and shows come here to look for talent. And so it just becomes more competitive here because we're all trying to get to that next place in life and that next place in our careers.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see that. Now, being a woman, do they give you a little bit of a harder time?
Well, I mean, again, I've never been a man, so I don't know. So
Is there a guy, like, is there a guys group like, you know, when you come up to the rest of the guy comedians, they're like, oh, here comes Shereen, be quiet, be quiet.
I wouldn't say that, but I do feel as a female, it can be harder to be a comedian because like you'll have these showcases, right, where they'll have 10 comedians and then they'll have one female on the show. And if you ask to be on the show, they'll be like, oh, we already have our one female. So it's like 9 men and one female, right?
I didn't know there was a one female rule.
I didn't either, but I get that sometimes. Like I'll be like, but you only have one female. Can't we have another one? I've also been told that females can't be funny if we don't have a half a Y chromosome. So unless we're lesbians, we're not funny. So yeah, I mean, I get some of that.
I don't find Ellen funny. So I mean, come on.
I get a lot of that, but you know what? Whatever. Like, I mean, I still do well. So it's just keep going with it, right? You just keep pushing forward. So
like right now with all the material you've written, like how are you going to sift through it? Because you're going to be doing a lot of test appearances to feel what works out, or are you just going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to do like an hour and a half set if they give it to me?
I would do an hour and a half set if they gave it to me. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of testing because it's also going to be just listening to what other people are doing. Because I mean, a lot of people are going to have the same material, right, about COVID and the election. So it's like, how do you differentiate your material? How do you set yourself apart and make your material stand out?
See, I think what you need to do, and I mean, all the big rappers are doing it right now. They're completely like, you know, going full MAGA, wearing the hats and stuff. I could see you like, you know, you might get so, but yeah, no, you should go full MAGA because I think you would blow up. You'd be like, hell yeah, this is a girl calls her funny brown girl and she's wearing a MAGA hat. Hell yeah.
So much to say on that one. I don't know who your listener base is. I don't want to say anything like, how do you know I'm not already a MAGA fan? But no.
I mean, no. But what I'm saying though is like, I don't support either side. I think they're all a bunch of goddamn crooks anyway. So listen, nothing's going to change if Biden gets elected or not. So it's like, what good is it going to do for somebody like me or you really in the big grand scheme of things?
It's going to do a lot for me because I'm an immigrant, I'm Muslim, I'm a woman of color. There's a lot. I'm a female who might want to have an abortion someday.
But come on, though. Like, all right. So I know, okay, this is the ones that get me, okay? And we might differ on this. It's like, I hate when the Republicans all say, oh, they're going to come take our guns. And I'm like, dude, it's the second most important amendment that we have in our country. They're never going to take the guns away. I don't think they're ever going to stop women from having abortions either. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, it's already started to happen, though. In some states, they've already pulled funding.
Yeah, but I mean, I see your point. It just needs to be.
And it's not even just about the abortions. I mean, it's contraceptives too. They're trying to pass laws that say like
that's a religious right.
Yeah, but if you're working for a company, they're in contraceptive, it shouldn't be somebody else's decision whether I should be able to have contraceptives or not. That's my decision.
No, I agree. Listen, I think
I don't want to get political with you though, because the election is over.
No, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. But what I'm saying is, I'm just cool. As long as you're doing your thing and you're not affecting me, then we're cool.
Right. But the thing is that some of these things affect me because I am a woman of color and I'm Muslim and I'm an immigrant. So like I see things a little bit different than you do. Unfortunately, I don't get to be a white man living in America.
I mean, I'm at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to white men in America. So, I mean, there's a lot of people way better off than me.
But have you ever been pulled off a plane because of the way you look?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been pulled over and the cop won't tell you why, but he just says you look suspicious?
I got pulled over for a broken license plate light, and I got tased and actually handcuffed.
Just for a broken license plate?
Yeah, because to get this though, my e-pass, I have an e-pass. It wasn't working correctly, and my license was suspended, and I didn't know it for like 6 months, and they thought I was like trying to pull a fast one on them. So yeah, and I was very combative at the time because I was doing other substances. I wasn't drinking and driving. I might have been on some pills or something at one point.
So you were combative. You can see, I mean, you don't know me, but I'm not a combative person. Like I literally am driving my car and you're going to pull me over. And then, just because of the way I look. And that's the part that we need to change. Like
I get profiled all the time. Look at me. I can go nowhere near an elementary school because they automatically like, oh, let's To Catch a Predator. That's exactly what it is.
I almost got tased in my own front yard and where I live in Ponce Inlet when I was in baggies with no shirt and sandals because I was trimming a trail across the street for the kids, a bike trail that we were all working on together at like 12 o'clock. And this one cop, he's been fired by 4 other departments already, comes out and tries to back me into the corner and act like he wants to talk to me. I'm like, I have nothing to talk to you about. And he, basically tried to pull his taser out. I'm like, whoa, bro, there's kids all around here. Like I'm in sandals and baggies. Why are you pulling your taser out? And
he's been hitting the vape pen, by the way. So
I'm dark skinned now. I've been working hard all day. I study. Yeah, I study. I use THC and CBD. But anyways, yeah.
I think you should tell this story though and take your shirt off when you're doing it.
All right, so
no, I'm just trying to get experience on like how this OnlyFans website is going to work.
So if I would have taken my shorts off, you would have known I was like my butt's completely white. But it doesn't matter. I mean, about color.
But I'm just trying to. I need to picture you telling this story right now. Like I'm not getting the full image.
Anyways, it all went down, and I ended up having to go to jail over it. And the guy is fired from the police department now, and I'm a Trump supporter. Still am. I think that most of that stuff is generated by.
All right, we got to wrap this up. Hey, we were trying not to get too political. No, but no, I like the stoner MAGA like angle. Like, could you imagine, dude? That would be a great gimmick. OnlyFans page, just him smoking weed, talking Trump rhetoric.
And if you took his shirt off, I'm sure he could make a lot of money.
I'm sorry about that, Shereen. I apologize.
What are you apologizing for? It's fine.
All right, so tell everybody how they can check you out again, and. Now on your website, can people find where you're going to be appearing, or can they just follow you on social to be able to keep up with that?
Yeah, if you want to see where I'm performing, you would follow me on Instagram or Facebook. That's Funny Brown Girl. If you want to see some funny stuff, go to TikTok, Funny Brown Girl. And then if you want to check out my podcast about creativity, that's funnybrown.girl.com.
Well, Shereen, thank you so much. And when all this dies down, it'll be, we need to make plans to hang out and meet in person because we've talked a few times, but still haven't been able to meet in person.
I know. I've known you for what now, 4 or 5 years, right? Yeah, we definitely need to go eat some chicken wings. Yes,
I'll buy 2. You as many as you can eat. Let's film this and go for a record here. All right, Shereen, thank you.
I don't eat that many, okay?
Well, we can edit. I'll chew on some of them, and then we can just put your plate down there. Like we can do a couple of double takes where you're biting in, and we'd be like, that's number 4, number 5.
Okay.
I mean, we set it up. Everything's fake on the internet now anyways.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So, all right, Shereen, thank you so much. This was a great interview, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.